It's Friday night, and this is your Smackdown recap show. I am the OG Fig Kid, Thomas Montalto.
And it is now time to turn your attention to Anthony of the Titantron Podcast.
What's going on, young Anthony? How you doing tonight?
Tom, I am doing excellent after this very, very good episode of Smackdown, which I am very much looking forward to. And I'm sure that you were doing very well for also not only Smackdown, but the guest that you just had on Fig Friday.
Yeah, man. If you didn't check out Fig Friday tonight, Sam Roberts shocked us and stopped by for a little visit. Go to our YouTube channel, look for it, check it out. Very, very fun episode.
A bigger reveal than Sasha Banks tonight, I must say. Bigger reveal. Sam Roberts.
Well, I mean, you know, Sasha did make her return, and it's about time. And we'll get into that. But
yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll see. We're getting some commentary. I got to turn up. And we have the fabulous Disaster joining us again. How are you doing? Good to see you again, man. All right. So let's get into the Smackdown show. So for the second week in a row, we have John Cena opening with another promo. And I can see you, Anthony. It doesn't work for you.
Oh, you could see me? Oh, damn. Okay.
Fabulous Disaster. Then it's a good thing you're here because we're going to get into all things Smackdown tonight. And if you have Hulu or have it on your DVR, I'd definitely check out tonight's show.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about it. So what do you think of Cena's promo tonight?
This has honestly been I know like every Cena promo so far has been like very good, but honestly, this is when you start to see like the Cena promo that we've been waiting for almost because, you know, I always call it back to like the 2017 rivalry between Cena and Roman, that like 10-minute, promo war between them. This felt very, very similar to that. You know, you had so many shots from Cena just, you know, really going at it, more missionary talk, which is very funny. So, you know, once I saw that, I was like, okay, they're definitely going in the route of Roman Cena for SummerSlam. Finn, for me, was out of the question after that promo. And I just enjoyed every minute of it. And then, of course, you know, your favorite lone wolf, as they're calling it now. It's LOAN, lone wolf. Baron Corbin showed up and begging John Cena for money. So what did you think about that part of the promo?
Well, I'm going to tell you, very, very, very entertaining promo from Cena. I love that they're getting a little more edgier. I love when the promos start to get personal, and that's what we're seeing. It's very good. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to shock you, young Anthony. I didn't hate Baron Corbin tonight.
Whoa, there you go.
I did not hate it. It was, you know, I guess Cena makes everybody more interesting because that part was kind of funny and entertaining, and we got to see him have an attitude adjustment. And I guess, thank God, we're not seeing the whole Kevin Owens things continue, at least as of tonight. Hopefully, maybe each week he just goes over to somebody else. I don't know. I don't know what they're really doing with it, but at least tonight it left me wondering the Baron Corbin thing. And we'll get into that a little later down the show, or should we skip right? No, let's go in the show order.
Right.
I think it's better that way. So I definitely like the open tonight. I like Cena's promo. I didn't hate the Corbin part. What do you think of the Corbin part?
I'm kind of in your boat where it's like starting to grow on me a little bit because there seems to be more of a direction here. It feels like you said, I think he's going to go to like different wrestlers, and you can see, you know, interesting exchanges between Corbin and all the SmackDown roster. So I think if they go in this route, I will be very much interested in it because there's different ways that you could go about it. Again, it just is a very awkward gimmick because part of me thinks that, Vince McMahon came up with this idea when, you know, he was driving one day and, you know, like a homeless person came up to him and, you know, asked for money, and Vince gave him like $1 because cheap Vince. And he was like, you know, that's it. You're Vince McMahon. That's all you can give me. And Vince was like, oh, Corbin needs something. Let's let him grow hair. And that's where we came up with this. So that's where I'm seeing this. But, you know, as long as we're going on this route where it has a direction, I'm all for it. And it's kind of growing on me a little bit because he's doing it pretty well. He's doing the character well.
Yeah, he's done his characters well. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying I loved it, but I didn't hate it. It was interesting. And you'll see why as we go on later in the show. So we'll leave it at that for now. The first match we get tonight is Rey Mysterio against which Uso was it?
I believe it was Jimmy.
Yeah, it was Jimmy. Okay. It was Jimmy Uso. By the way, this is our first stream live on Twitch. So if you're watching on Twitch, hello, welcome. You're going to get a lot more live content, and we'll touch some more on that later. But we are now on Twitch. If you have Twitch, the Turnbuckle Tavern on Twitch, search us, follow us there. You can see us there as well as YouTube. So
Absolutely.
what'd you think? And a solid match there. Another solid match with Mysterio and Uso.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to the match we saw last week, just with a different result. Now the Mysterios got over, and I guess the whole thing is like the roll up with the feet on the back from the other. So that's kind of the direction that they're taking for this whole thing. So it'll lead up to a SummerSlam match, I would assume. I would love to see this with like a stipulation. Imagine kicking off SummerSlam with these two teams in a ladders match. You know what I mean? Like, make it a little more interesting besides just the roll ups and all that. Solid match. It wasn't really anything to write home about. But it progresses the story, and I think it served that purpose pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't the best match, but it was solid. No complaints there. So we go next. Let's a lot of continuing stories tonight that start here and end later. So Bianca Belair comes out, and then Zelina comes out. And how good was Zelina on the mic?
Oh yeah, I mean that's just a given at this point. She's always going to be great on the mic. I'm waiting for her just to flourish, just being on the mic. And tonight was a real great example of that.
She was so good. They really need to go with her because speaking of Zelina Vega, it's Fig Friday. I got my Zelina Vega figure right here. It's collector's edition.
Collector's edition.
She is great, man. And I kind of left tonight's episode. You had the promo that led out to Sasha coming back, shocks the world. We didn't know. I thought maybe we wouldn't see it to SummerSlam. So she winds up shocking us, and she hugs Bianca. And right then and there, I'm like, oh, this is going to lead to a tag team match later. But man, I got a little hope after tonight that they're going to push Zelina because, she's so good on the mic. She looks so good. And, what'd you think of this whole setup and segment?
I was nervous because the first person that came out was Carmella. And I was like, if we're doing Carmella for SummerSlam,
I said the same thing.
I'm going to turn off my TV. But thankfully, Sasha came out and saved the day for everyone. I would have loved to seen a Bianca Zelina match. I don't know if they would ever do that in a million years with the way that Zelina's going nowadays. But I would love to see that match. I think that they could really do so well with that program. But, Sasha came out, kind of saved the day, and we'll get into more of Sasha later. I feel like we keep just saying like we'll get into that later because you said, there's a lot of continuation on the show, but it really set up. It was a good return for Sasha. I would say that, very surprised. I was even more surprised that they were going to put her in a match tonight. I figured like they would hold off a little bit, but yeah, they threw her right in a match in the main event, and a lot to talk about at that point.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll pause there. So next we got Gable versus Reggie. It was quick. I'll give it that. Luckily I needed to fast forward to catch up to get here because we were recording Fake Friday Live right before SmackDown. So I used it for that. Any thoughts on that match?
You know what? Vintage Anthony supporting WWE. I am really starting, Reggie is starting to grow on me a lot. He definitely has taken the 24/7 championship and made it somewhat interesting just from the flips and shit. His entrance is great. They're doing like the full Sin Cara trampoline over the ropes. It's eye-catching to say the least. They really actually put on like a pretty competitive match for a 24/7 match. Of course, it ended with a DQ. But Chad Gable's great in the ring. I really wish they would have done something with him more than what they're doing with fucking Otis. But for where it was, I thought it was suitable. Did you watch the match, or was it just a skip?
I saw some of it, but I decided I got to fast forward through something and get downstairs to record this. So I didn't want to leave all of our fans waiting.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, so it was, I mean, Reggie is, I'm glad you find the 24/7 title interesting. I don't care about it, but
well, how about this? How do you feel about them actually treating Reginald as like an actual competitor now? Because they took him away from Nia and Shayna. They give him a title. Now he's like in a division. How do you feel about that?
I like it better than what they were doing with him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's interesting what he could do in a ring. Seeing him do all the flips, and I think he was on Raw too on Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Yeah. So he's, I guess, breaking the forbidden door in WWE, just going
He's
on both
getting the Cena
shows.
treatment. He's going to all the shows. We're gonna see him on
So it's Reggie and
205
Cena.
Live and NXT next. Just put him on all the shows.
So, I mean, I'm glad to see the Forbidden Door is broken down in WWE at least. But yeah, I mean, Reggie's entertaining. I look forward to see where it's going. It seems like there might be developing him into something. So maybe eventually we wind up seeing a Reggie versus a Ricochet match.
That would be
And
great. They're actually
that,
friends off camera. So, I mean, that
oh,
would
are
even,
they?
yeah, would
That's
be
cool.
even great. They make
The guy's
TikToks
talented.
together.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I'll have to add that to my TikTok, I guess. I don't know if I follow any men on there. Anyway,
Oh boy.
next story. The contract signing. So now we get the Finn Balor and Roman Reigns contract signing. What'd you think of that?
Well, first of all, I love that Roman sat at the head of the table again because
Yes.
it's just such a great little thing that he does.
Yeah, it's just smart to do that. I actually like that little touch on it.
The first time he did it, I believe it was with Drew. I was just like, because that was right when the gimmick started. I was like, head of the table. That's perfect. But yeah, I mean, it was really good. Good friends, better enemies are in the chat. Hello. Back on topic. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, they were. It was a good, suitable promo. I was wondering how they were going to bring in Cena, and obviously they did it in very, very wild fashion. Bringing out Corbin first, teasing Corbin was going to sign the contract, which even I was like, wait a second, there's no way they're going to do this. And then Cena, literally Super Cena, ran the hell out of there and signed the contract. And now we have the blockbuster match. Did you have any, thought maybe they would go Roman Finn? Like, I feel like I was on Roman Cena this entire time. Like, maybe a little, like maybe a triple threat match, but even I didn't want to see that at all. But
I don't want to see triple threat match. They kind of threw me a little bit with that last week. I didn't know, like, it was interesting to see what was going to happen. So right. I guess apparently, I thought maybe Baron was stealing the contract for Cena to try and look good to his Hollywood buddy.
Oh,
but the fact that he wound up signing it, like, it's kind of nice when you think this might happen, but then it doesn't happen.
Right.
So. But either way, I kind of figured when that whole thing was happening, Cena's going to wind up with it somehow, and that's exactly what he did. And Cena apparently writes like a kindergartner instead of signing his name on a contract.
He wrote so awkwardly. It was like he was writing backwards, the C-E. I was like, can you just write it normally?
Yeah, like, I don't know what was up with that. But then he makes that whole little thing on top.
Right.
Whatever he drew on above scene is his name.
Well, that's his actual signature. Like, I knew that.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. So, but that whole C, I was like, that was weird. But actually, a follow-up question because,
I could see it.
Well, there you go. I feel like that. That's the main point. As long as you can see it, that's the good thing. But follow-up. We're doing Finn versus Baron Corbin next week. Do you feel like that kind of like stunts the momentum that Finn's been getting? I feel like they should have kept going with Roman, Finn, and Cena a little bit, but throwing Corbin into there. Do you feel like that kind of hinders Finn a little bit from getting this momentum?
What's going on, Nick?
Nick, what's going on?
I don't think so. I kind of was hoping we were going to wind up getting a Finn Balor Cena match to see who would face him at SummerSlam. I thought we were going to lead to that. So, like I said, now we're going to get at SummerSlam. I'm sure it's going to be Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. So, which am I really thrilled with that? I love this Finn Balor. I love the version of him. So I'm excited to see that no matter what and see what Baron Corbin can do.
Right.
Apparently he's staying on the heel side. At least he seemed that way tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, next week. Did I see, as I was fast forwarding through commercials, that Cena's fighting Baron Corbin next week?
No, he's fighting Finn next week.
Oh,
so we have that. I guess that kind of like, I guess that kind of throws Finn off a little bit. But I'm still thinking we're still going to get this Cena Finn match. Maybe like 2 weeks leading to SummerSlam or something like that, because I feel like you can't just leave Finn out of this. Like, you need to do something with Cena.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I wouldn't be shocked though if it's after SummerSlam, so that Roman has something to do. But I really like, although I think he was talking to the Roman complimenting Finn. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It didn't, the whole angle, it's been written pretty well. And this version, I know we said this last week, this version of Roman really comes through with the crowds there, man. He is having
Yes.
fun. You could tell, like, he brought it to a whole another level now that there's real fans there.
I feel like it's a completely different version of the tribal chief gimmick, because when he was in the Thunderdome, it was very slow, methodical.
Yes.
Now he's quick with it. Like he's,
Yes.
going back at the fans. He's talking about missionary position. It's just, it's something that we needed to keep Roman kind of, engaging with the fans and making him a little more interesting of a character. Because I feel like slow, methodical Roman wouldn't work with the crowds.
Jonathan, let me just answer Jonathan. Go watch our Fig Friday that aired at 7 on our YouTube channel. We talked about this, and we had Sam Roberts on, and he talked about it with us. So it's a can't miss episode. Thank you for giving me a chance to plug it. But definitely, you don't want to miss it. It was a great episode. That part's right in the beginning, but watch the whole episode because you get to see me, and you get to see Sneed, and you get to see Mike Belcaster. And
Mike Belcaster
has a brand new shirt out in our PWT shop. I'm a Mike Belcaster guy. Awesome shirt. Go pick it up.
I might have to get that shirt, honestly. Jonathan, did OG pay you for that little lead in for that plug? I don't know.
Young Anthony. So yeah, this version of Roman is just the best version of Roman we've ever seen. He's out there, he's having fun. He's great on the mic now. He's just brought it to another level. I'm loving this Roman even more. A lot more than I did in the Thunderdome.
Well, like we said with Seth, I feel like once you reach that point of you could see a wrestler's having fun with it, that's when they're at their best. Seth is having so much fun with this new gimmick, and now you can see it with Roman. He's having so much fun with it, and it's even better.
Yeah, it is better. It's great. It's absolutely great. I look forward to seeing this Roman, dominate for a while and continue this.
Definitely.
I like where the whole SmackDown show is right now.
Yes.
So after the contract signing, we get the 6-man tag match. Tell me what you thought.
Honestly, I was expecting it from last week. There was no way that you were going to do a 6-man brawl with even face heel split and not do a 6-man. It's just WWE standard at this point. But honestly, they made it as fun as possible. And I feel like the crowd even added more to that because Nakamura was over with the fans tonight. I mean, as expected. I feel like everything with the Rick Boogs and the electric guitar and bringing his old song back, it was just the right time for this to come back with the fans coming back. Because if they don't give him that IC title at SummerSlam, it's a missed opportunity. You could do a fatal 4-way, 6-way, whatever you want to do, but Nakamura needs that title because he is in the perfect spot. He should have the Universal title, if I'm being real here, but the Intercontinental title, he is in the perfect spot with this new edge to him, this new gimmick, Rick, whatever you want to call it. You need to give him that title. And, Cesaro, I feel like this match was even a way to kind of get a feel of, are the fans really more over with Cesaro or was it Nakamura? And with him pinning Apollo tonight, I think that adds even more layers to it.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. But here's my problem. Here we go. We're having 6-man tag tonight with those guys. I'm not complaining about the match. It was a decent match. So I'm not taking anything away from the match. And it starts off with their thing last week. Now we're just going to get another version of it next week. You have these 6 guys, and if you don't want to give us rematches, week after week with the same people, they could have had a Nakamura versus Apollo Crews tonight. And next week you could have Big E versus... Who else was out there?
Dolph, Robert Roode.
Oh, yeah. He could fight. Big Eve could fight Robert Roode next week. Just give us one of these matches a week, and it's fresh every week, a new match, instead of, we're going to get some type of version of the same exact match again next week.
Right.
I would assume. Or if you do one match a week and you do the 6-man tag, 3 weeks from now. But now we saw it all already tonight, so I just don't like the booking there.
Yeah, fair point.
I'm tired of that booking in WWE. Again, I'm not taking anything away from the match tonight or anything against the talent in the match. I think it would be better for everybody if they did it that way.
Absolutely. Great point.
So that's my thought on that match. So we get to see Edge coming out for a promo, but apparently during the commercial break, he gets attacked. by Seth Rollins and is
Mm.
taken to the hospital. What'd you think?
Weird that they would do that during the commercial break. I feel like that was a time thing. I feel like you can't kind of give that. I feel like that's a big point in the story for Seth to go back at Edge now. So to do that during the commercial and then have Seth do the promo during real time on air, I wasn't really feeling it. It was an interesting vibe. It was different. I kind of liked that it was not something we really see, something going on during the commercial break, but I don't know. It just felt like a time constraint. Like, okay, we're at like the 30-minute mark before the show ends. Let's just do this, get it over with. And it even felt like they stretched it out during the commercial break to kind of fill that commercial time. They brought him up to the stage. They brought him back down to the ring. It was a whole thing. So what did you feel about that?
I mean, I absolutely agree that I think Seth should have attacked him right before they went to commercial. And then maybe you come back afterwards and then you show what happened during the rest of, during the commercial, the rest of the beating,
Right.
him being escorted out. It would have only taken another 30 seconds or so. So I don't really get that. But Jonathan says the crowd was on fire tonight. I do wonder how once the novelty of being back live wears on, how many current roster stars will be truly over and move the needle to a larger degree. Well, let me tell you something, Jonathan. If you've watched Raw, the crowd was dead this week.
Yes.
So I think the fact that the crowd has stayed this lit for SmackDown has a lot to do with it's a much better show than Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Because those fans were not connected at all on Raw. I mean, I was falling asleep at home watching it. It was just a terrible episode.
And you have to understand also, they're in this return tour. They're going to cities that they haven't gone to in over a year and a half now. So whenever you go to a new city, you're going to get a good reaction from the crowd. Raw, of course, is the exception because it's a shit show. However, Raw is going to be in Chicago on Monday. So you're going to get a reaction, be it positive or negative. And also Nikki Ash and Goldberg are booked for that show. So God bless them. But I think you're going to get some reaction. Crowd's going to be on fire. It just depends on the product you put on. And SmackDown's a perfect example of doing it the right way.
And, Chicago is one of the best wrestling cities in the world.
Clearly, AEW is going there 4 times.
And they've pretty much sold out already for the Rampage.
Yeah.
23,000 seat arena.
Wild.
So good for AEW. But yeah, so listen, Chicago, if you're watching this, or if you know anybody in Chicago, tell them to watch this. Go let them know what we really think of Raw.
Please.
There's going to be CM Punk chants. We know that.
Absolutely.
Our very own, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. He's going to have to admit that he watched it. Mike Belcast is going to Raw this week.
Whoa. Uh-oh.
Mike Belcast to bring a sign that says the Staple.
Belcaster's in town.
Say,
Raw's going to be Bizarro World.
I need him to bring a sign that says, I'm a fan of the Staple.
There you go.
The OG Fig Kid. How awesome is that? So yeah, I hope Monday Night Raw just boozed the shit. Chicago boozed the shit out of Monday Night Raw.
It's got to happen with everything with AEW coming to town.
Listen, if Chicago doesn't boo Goldberg, nobody will.
Oh my God, it's the writing's on the wall there.
So yeah, I agree with what Jonathan's saying here. I think the right choice would have been Goldberg versus Keith Lee.
Yeah,
I like Goldberg coming back. Okay, I don't need him in a title picture. I would be more for that than seeing him come out and put himself into a title picture. I absolutely would be more for that. If he would have came out and challenged Lashley and Goldberg got up and Keith Lee got up and started knocking on him for this being the second time he came out after one of his matches, would have made for a better story. And Keith Lee could use the push going over Goldberg more than Lashley needs it right now. Then Lashley doesn't need to be pushed for going over a 50-something-year-old man.
Right.
Who can't really wrestle now, nor could he ever.
Right.
Okay, but let's see. You got me going off on a damn Goldberg tangent. And
this is the SmackDown recap, damn it. Come on.
SmackDown. There's no Goldberg here. Come on.
Thankfully. You see, this is why I do the SmackDown recap, because I don't have to be negative on a Raw review. I don't have to look at the color red for 3 hours. I get to watch blue for 2 hours. So let's get back into it.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to have a little note about of the We Want Becky chant during Seth's promo.
Oh, God.
Tonight. Not a fan of that.
Me neither.
Seth is on fire right now. We all want Becky back. I get the fans they're allowed to speak their mind,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just don't like it during the Seth
Especially
promo.
since you're
Does
not
it
going to
bother
see her
you
at
or no?
I mean, it bothers me because you're clearly not going to see her at SummerSlam in a match. You might see her after a match, but
Yeah.
you're not going to get Becky in the build up to SummerSlam for what is it now, 4 weeks until SummerSlam. So if
Yeah.
these chants are going to continue, like I don't see them ever like hot shotting like a return like that. Like wait until SummerSlam, but like you might push them to the point where they might say, okay, just bring Becky out there so these fans shut up about her already. They did it to Charlotte. They've done it to Seth. They're probably going to do it to every women's segment that we're going to get at this point. The card looks like, we already got the triple threat match confirmed. And then we probably have, our SmackDown women's match confirmed, which I won't spoil because we have to still get to it tonight. So we have those 2 matches already. Unless they're going to do something with Becky on top of that or after a match, you're not going to see her for the next 4 weeks. So these fans need to just shut up, enjoy Seth Rollins as he is, enjoy the 2 women's programs. Although to enjoy Raw these days is like, exactly. So just enjoy what we have right now. Becky's going to come back. Just give it some time. That's all I could say.
Very, very true, young Anthony. I love the fact that I'm rubbing off on you.
Oh,
A couple
yeah.
weeks ago, you're coming out and saying what a great show Raw is. By the end of the recap show, we had
that I stand by. That Raw after Money in the Bank, I stand by was a great show. But alas, I'll save it for Mondays.
Oh, okay. So we get to our main event tonight. We have Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega and Carmella. Solid match. We had 4 good workers, and there's Zelina again. She's just so good. Let's put the rocket on her back and not worry about her husband being in AEW because, man, she could be fire in that women's division if you just let her be.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine her versus Sasha 1-on-1.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and what was the eye makeup on tonight? Did you catch that? On the one eye, is that like a?
I couldn't tell you. I guess it's a fashion statement that I'm not.
Was
too
it, or
keen
was
with,
she
but
like just giving a little nod to her husband over on AEW with her eye issues?
maybe I don't. I mean, I feel like ever since she came back, she has the red in her hair. She's got the eye makeup. I mean, she's going for a new look. I don't blame her. Go for it. But I did catch that. It's interesting.
We might see her wear her husband's contact out next week.
Oh
no, I don't know. I'm just making that up. So I like the fact that Zelina wasn't the one who got to lose in the match. They let Carmella.
Oh, thank God!
Take the bullet again. So you save her a little bit there, which is good to me. That says something. Like they maybe see something, and Zelina are going to go with it because they would have just kept burying her like they did last week. But my biggest problem with tonight is once again, no Liv Morgan.
I was just about to say that.
She's been on such a roll. She was on a roll up until Money in the Bank.
No Liv Morgan.
You could have had a whole Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega segment. Like you could have had a whole program with them. What are you doing?
No Liv Morgan, no Toni Storm, no Shotzi and Knox. I mean, like you could at least have a promo video for them. Like,
well, I don't even mind that they don't have Shotzi and Knox on last week, right?
They were, yeah. They did the whole Corbin thing, yeah.
Again, I like the AEW thing that you don't need to be on every single week to get over it. Sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Right.
WWE is too much about putting the same people on week after week.
Right.
But
the thing is,
Liv Morgan, Zelina is over now.
But the thing is, we already talked about this last week. When you have a brand split, you're expecting everyone to be on the show every week. And what AEW does, which I like, is that even when their champions or, some of their bigger talent aren't on the show, but are still in stories, they give them like 1 minute promos or 1 minute videos. And, they did it with Miro. They did it with Britt Baker. They keep the interest there. You could have had a quick minute to kind of, even for Toni Storm, that she's new to the fans, kind of build up who she is as a character. We've seen her a little bit in NXT, but we don't know what Toni Storm is. Like the casual fan doesn't know who Toni Storm is yet. So you could have had a quick video on that. But I don't know. I feel like to have these women not on the show is just, it's holding it back a little bit. I feel like you need to go forward more. And I feel like that's going to be a trend now because with Bianca and Sasha kind of taking the reins of the SmackDown division, you're not going to get that chance for these other women to flourish, and it sucks.
And just like you said, you could have had Shotzi and Knox on there tonight, 30-second backstage thing. hey, listen, we won our championship contenders match. When are we getting our title match at Natalia and Tamina?
Mm-hmm.
Something as simple as that. So,
Well, thankfully, we didn't get any championship contenders matches tonight because I think that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Championship contenders match. Oh my god.
yeah, they don't do it right. I
Long,
agree.
long ago are the days of actually having contenders for the championship fighting each other. But no, just go right to the champion. Oh my god. But anyways, let's get back to SmackDown.
Oh yeah, so let's go back to the main event. Solid match again. We see Sasha and Bianca go over, and all of a sudden, I see how much time is left in the show, and they're just dancing in the ring, and I'm like, okay, we know it's coming, and then it came.
Yep.
What'd you think?
You know, they did this really well because I went through different emotions during this whole show in terms of Sasha and Bianca, because you start off, Sasha comes back and they're doing like the dancing in the ring. I'm like, but why isn't Sasha like wanting to fight Bianca? You know, why are they just dancing in the ring? So, you know, whatever. We get to the match. And then I see them tag team with each other. I'm like, they have really great chemistry together. Like, you know, Bianca did the press to Sasha throwing on them. You know, they're doing really
Sasha
well
looked
together.
so happy too being there, didn't she?
Yeah, I was like just enthralled with the chemistry. I was like, this is great. Maybe we have another like women's tag team, whatever. And then, you know, they win the match, they're dancing around. And then it was like, wait a second, something is just not right. And then it happened. I was like, that was excellent. That was very well
There's
done.
your SummerSlam rematch from WrestleMania. Bianca versus Sasha. Bianca,
And another point to bring up, Bianca's selling was great for that whole last part when she was getting attacked. Her
Bianca's
selling
so
was
good.
very good.
Yeah. She's good. She's very, very good. You know, I guess Sasha changes back and forth like the Big Show. 1 week she's good, 1 week she's bad. The beginning of the show she's good, the end of the show she's bad. So, but
It's
again,
ridiculous.
Sasha's so good. Sasha is amazing. I actually hope she gets the title back at SummerSlam. I'd like to see her get the win on a big stage. She's never gotten a win on a big stage. You know, I thought she honestly deserved to win at WrestleMania. I thought Bianca could have used a little more time. It wouldn't have hurt Bianca to lose there. I thought it would have cemented Sasha's legacy if she had won.
Yeah, that's a great point. I do see kind of, you know, early prediction also, I do kind of see Sasha, you know, getting that win, but we already talked about it earlier on the show. I feel like that's a perfect setup to Becky. You know, they're probably going to want to bring her back into SmackDown with Seth, you know, being on the same roster, whatever. Sasha and Becky would be a great, you know, program going forward for the fall. You know, I could see it happening, and maybe even doing well, they already did Hell in a Cell. I was going to say a Hell in a Cell rematch, but you know, they could do something with the two of them going forward. I wouldn't be opposed to it, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Any other thoughts on the show tonight?
You know, I definitely just a much better show than last week. Of course, last week had a whole another segment from Miami to deal with, but there was definitely a better atmosphere with just being in one arena. Just a good feel on the show overall. All the promos hit well. The matches, all the matches, really, none of them were like bad to begin with. Even the 24/7 stuff. I thought it was solid stuff all around, from beginning to end. A lot of surprises, a lot of good moments, and I was happy with the show overall.
Solid show. In reviewing it with you, I don't think it was as high as I thought it was, but it was still a super solid show. Like, I'm not taking anything away from it. It was very
Right.
enjoyable to watch,
Mhm.
especially compared to watching Raw. And but again, I got to stop comparing it. Again, I say it every single week on every single show. Like, I just can't believe the same people make both shows.
It's just that little thing in the back of your head that you can never. It's like the song in the back of your head you can never get rid of. Raw is just always there, looming.
Yeah, I guess so. Any other closing comments? We gotta give it your ratings. What would you rate it? 1 to 5 stars.
I will give it, because we've been setting the bar high with AEW shows, you know, 4.5 stars, whatever you want to call it.
Wow.
I will give it I'll give it a 3.5. I'll give it a 3.5 because you had some stuff that wasn't, you know, as good. Like the Jimmy Uso match was meh. It held it back a little bit.
Fine. It wasn't
It was
terrible.
like, it was okay, but like,
He did
when you're
his
talking,
job.
like we said, for like these AEW shows, you have all that stuff that really takes it up a notch. And for me, when you have those things that bring it down, Jimmy Uso, that match kind of brought it down for me a little bit.
I didn't feel that match brought it down.
It not so much brought it down, but it was just like, it was too like not memorable, and it took a little bit too much out of me to bring it to. If it was a great match, then maybe I would bring it up to like a 4, but it was kind of just like it was a there match. Also, the 24/7 stuff, while it was great, it was the stuff with Otis I just can't get into. So maybe I'll give it a 4. But then I would be putting it up against AEW, which I guess I would have to bump AEW to a 4.5 because it was not better than AEW. But I would give it, a 3.5 to a 4. Just solid. Yeah, I'm learning.
You, young Anthony.
Sometimes I know what to say and I just don't say it right. So I'll change my rating to like a 4.5 for AEW. And you know what? I'll give it a 4 for SmackDown, because there wasn't really much wrong with it. My only thing would be that Mysterio match was just a little bit off for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 3.5. Very strong 3.5. Very, very solid show.
You see, you can't do that to me, because I brought it. I brought the AEW rating up so that I could bring the SmackDown rating, and then you give me a low rating. You see, I can't do this. Now I need to give it a 3.5. Damn
it. Jonathan, NWA Empower is gonna be an all women's pay-per-view. Check it out.
Yes,
that'll be should be super solid coming up in just a couple of weeks, I believe. I don't remember.
Yeah, very soon.
It's going to be all women pay-per-view. I don't even think they've announced a full card yet, but it should be super solid.
Deonna Purrazzo's on that card, so I mean, it should be great.
You don't know who else
maybe a potential DMD will make an appearance.
You never know, man. They are working together. DMD, the hottest thing in women's wrestling right now. Yes. One of the hottest things in all of wrestling right now.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos to her for building herself up during her first injury. And I'm never going off TV.
Not to get off topic, but have you heard the rumors about her, group that she might be forming with a potential iconic duo?
No.
Well, they said, the promo on Dynamite where she was saying that, she might bring in some backup to protect her and Reba. They are saying that maybe it might be Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. They might come in to be a stable with Britt Baker.
That would be pretty awesome. I wouldn't mind that. I was really hoping to see you just put a poll up on. Okay.
We'll do.
At Good Enemies. Is that on Instagram?
I believe they're on Twitter.
On Twitter. Okay. I'll check it out.
Well, they are on Instagram, but the poll's on Twitter. But Iconics.
Check it out.
Iconics might be in AEW. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I was really hoping that Chelsea Green showed up in AEW and would have went with, she's good friends with Britt Baker in real life.
Oh, true.
So I thought that they would have went, well, they kind of look like each other. I thought that would have been a good stable. Well, they do. Twitter and Instagram at Good Enemies. Follow. Give them a follow. Give us a follow. Follow everybody. I was hoping to see that. Anything the Iconics could do to get more screen time and do something would be awesome.
Yes, very true.
Jonathan likes that pairing a lot. So, all right, I think that's it. Are we missing anything?
I don't think so. I mean, I couldn't tell you anything that we're missing.
All right, then give yourself a plug, young Anthony.
That's what we were missing. My plugs, of course. You can go ahead.
I can use plugs. Oh wait, we're not talking about.
Oh, that's another plug. You can go ahead and find me at the Titantron Podcast on Instagram, as well as at _Titantron on Twitter. If you want to listen to my podcast, hear me talk for 10 to 15 minutes a day, you can listen to it on YouTube, where you can see my beautiful face and leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Or you can just listen to my voice and listen on Spotify and Apple Podcast, where you should give me a good review. You definitely should. You should go ahead and support the channel by buying some merch, which I'm sadly not wearing. The Titantron Podcast, creator-spring.com at prices you'll want to turn your attention to. If you're a wrestling podcaster like Jonathan in the chat and like Tom himself, you should go ahead and support my WPC 50 project by submitting in your top 10 wrestlers of all time. I am also on every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Bench Sports app. Just got done with my episode not too long ago where we talked about Adam Page potentially not being the champion's challenger at All Out, which had a lot to say on that one. And you can hear me for a half an hour every time on the Bench Sports app. And of course, right here on the Turnbuckle Tavern at 10:15 after Smackdown with the old man himself. So it's always a great time all around. So that's where you can find me, and I will see you next week, and I'm looking forward to turning our attention to Turnbuckle Tavern. Plug yourself now.
All right. Well, and also, you never know when Anthony's going to crash one of our other shows.
I might crash for Raw, sadly. I might come to talk about Raw for 3 hours.
Listen, young Anthony, you're more than welcome to. You're very, very good at it, crashing, and I love your views, and we love having you on.
Thank you.
So, again, if you didn't watch, make sure you checked out this week's episode of Fig Friday. We have special guest Sam Roberts. He joins us. He talks about the New Gen Arena. We talk all this week's reveals. We talk so much news and stuff, all the wrestling figure news from this week. We go over the heels and faces line from Zombie Sailor Toys. Just check it out. It's a great show. Check out us on Instagram, at Turnbuckle Tavern on Instagram, at TBuckle Tavern on Twitter. Follow me, the OG Fig Kid, on Twitter and Instagram at TheOGFigKid. Go to our website. You can get all of our links there. Follow us here on YouTube or Twitch, wherever you're watching. Follow us. Turn on a notification so you can see when we're going live. And I think that's it for now. Until next week, guys, that is it. Love, peace, and wrestling.